shadows where the whispers dwell, always trying to unring the bell. The red road calls a path less known, with haunted streets where the eerie winds moan. Creatures lurking just beyond the light, not just tales spun to frighten the night. The masquerade of ghosts, they walk along in this gritty realm. We're all too young. Take the red road, let the spirits unfold. Follow RezNeck, Calkins, let the mysteries be told. Through the dark we'll weave into the unknown, with each step we take closer to home.
Welcome back to another episode of Red Road Paranormal with your favorite RezNeck here. Tonight I have a very special guest. She's a sweet young lady here. I had a chance to meet over the summer. You might know her from AMC's hit TV show, or it's A&E, AMC. I don't know, one of them hit TV shows, The Walking Dead. Miss Sonya Thompson, come on up here.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, darling, long time no see.
I know it's been a bit, but I'm so glad that we got to see you up there in South Carolina last year. That was really fun.
Yes, it was a blast. So now, little did I know when I met you that you were into the paranormal. That kind of shocked me.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that, but I just look at it as a little hobby, something I've always kind of enjoyed doing, and so kind of diving a little bit more into it now, and you know, you meet the right people that's in it, and then you feel more comfortable and confident about it, you know, when you're with the right people and stuff. So
Yeah,
it's been cool.
oh, definitely. Yeah, you know, that's like me. You know, I started out with just a team and didn't really know anybody in the field. And as I spread my wings and I meet more people, you find certain people that you vibe with and that you go out and you have a good time with on investigations, that you create memories that last forever.
Yeah, and you know, we vibed really well, the four of us.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
we got some really good activity, and I think that brings a lot to it as well. Being able to, you know, have the right energy and the right people together, because I think that with you have a Native, you know, you being a Native American, I actually have Native American roots. I think I've actually over the years have figured out that a lot of people that have Native American ancestry have special gifts that other people don't have.
Yep.
And I think it's really neat, because I think there's more of a connection to Earth and to the universe and the world around us. We pay more attention to things.
Yeah, you know, it's part of our culture. It's natural. So where a lot of people they're hunting for it, we already been instilled with. You know,
Yeah.
everyone has the abilities. They choose not to accept them, or they weren't raised around them, so they don't
Yeah.
know how to really live with them per se.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, definitely. You know, backtrack a little bit when we got the thing out this summer. So to fill everyone in, me and Gwen were filming our paranormal walkabout, and we hung out with you, Gwen, and we also had Mr. Brandon Cooper, who actually made the introduction for me. You know, because he's the one to call. Hey, how'd you like to meet Sonya? Sure, why not? You know, I think I really enjoyed Essequina Falls. You know, it's one of the spots that we got to hang out. But I can't for the life of me remember the old train tunnel that we were
Stump
hanging.
House. Stump
That's
House
it.
Tunnel. Yes.
That was cool.
Yeah. That was really neat.
Ladies and gentlemen, she has a voice on her. She can sing. Oh my!
Thank you. Thank you.
We have some footage of that. Eventually, it'll make the waves. You know, because yeah, and then they were just reacting to you so sweetly. You know, you started singing, and the EMF detector would start going off.
Oh,
So
it was
they
crazy.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and it had to be like the older type songs and stuff, you know, hymnals and things like that they reacted the best to. Because you know, we experimented and sang a more popular song, or you know, something more modern, and they it just didn't happen the same. So it was a good experiment
Yep.
to, you know, see the reactions, and even the reaction we got on the outside of the tunnel was
Yes.
pretty off the chain, man.
Yeah,
I mean, it was,
definitely. You
that was
know,
crazy.
if it was indoors somewhere with power, you can kind of explain it away. Oh, pardon me. You know, we were sitting outside, stone benches with EMF detectors up there with cat balls. What else did we have out there? Digital recorder,
Hmm.
and things started lighting up crazy, and we were getting intelligent responses at that. You know, you can't explain that. There's no power or anything for this equipment to be going off or to be triggering. So that's what I
Yeah,
thought was the coolest part.
yeah, and Brandon even took it and walked away from it
Yep.
just to prove that, this is something that's not happening over here. I mean, it was good because once again, one of those experiments to show that, hey, this is legit, and to show there's no power outlets, there's nothing here that's causing this. So I was intrigued by it myself. Anytime that there's any activity like that, it intrigues me. Um, I'm just very fascinated by all of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, so I got to ask now, how'd you get on The Walking Dead? How'd that come to be?
Well, I've been doing film and TV since around 2007.
Okay.
So it's actually just another thing. But um, I did this little independent movie called Night of the Jackals, and I played a zombie. And I told the casting directors, I said, listen, the casting company, I said, the agency, I was like, I just did this zombie role on this little independent movie. I had a really good time on it. It was a lot of fun. If you ever get any zombie stuff, let me know. And all of a sudden, I had an audition for the movie Zombieland. And I got on Zombieland, and that was cool. And I was part of the Zombieland training video. Well, then the next year, I got an email that says, hey, you've been chosen to be a zombie on this new TV show called The Walking Dead. And I'm like, oh, okay, So I went to a zombie school for that. And they called it zombie school. And it was really like one huge audition. And they wanted to see, how well people reacted to direction and how they responded to the activities that they wanted you to do, the scenarios. And I ended up being one of the 20 what they called hero zombies. And then everybody else was either featured extra, or deep background extra. And they also chose me out of that 20 then to be a promotional model for the show. So there was like 8 of us that had been chosen for the promotional modeling. And then that's what landed me on all these magazines and DVD covers, trading cards, the comic book issue number 75. And so that was really neat, it's still been very surreal because they used my image all the way up until I guess season 9 or 10, somewhere right in there. And I was
Mhm.
still on magazine covers and DVDs and such. And so it's really it's still surreal, and like this shower curtain behind me, it's just I've been on so much stuff. I'm one of the most seen in the world for promotion of The Walking Dead.
So that's a shower curtain behind you, you said? Where do
Yeah.
I get one? I want one.
Well, they sold out very quickly. Um, so I don't know that you can get one now. This was an item that I actually I would hang it. Larry, who passed away a few years back, 4 years ago, he he would joke about us being, that people could take showers with us, and so people bought them like really, really quick, and then they were gone,
Yeah.
and so I don't think you can get another one, not unless you had it special made yourself.
That gives me an idea. I do have a Printify store.
There you go, there you go. So, but it's awesome though. It's really awesome. We would hang it in behind us at shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And so that was part of our little backdrop, but now I just use it as a backdrop for podcasts and different things like that. So,
Very cool.
yeah. But that's me.
Yeah. Now you told me you have a new project coming out soon that you're working on.
Back from the Dead. It's a new TV series. It's an interactive TV series, and so the viewers get control. What happens next. So they'll be given like let's just say three scenarios, what could happen, and then they just choose. Everybody votes, I guess, and chooses which scenario. And so it is a kind of a zombie based, but not really.
Okay.
It's a creature based. Let's just say creature based TV series, and it's based on the Zombified books by Santiago Seguro and Kendra Souder,
Okay.
and they you can read those and kind of get a better idea of what it's about. But we've already filmed the first episode. They're still doing some pickup shots and things like that. So I may have to go back up to Nashville and finish filming on that. Um, but there's already a teaser trailer out there, and it looks really amazing. And the cool thing about this is it's a family-based series, so there's no cussing, there's no nudity in it. So yeah, there'll be some heads chopped off, things like that. But hey,
You gotta
what
have
good
it.
horror? Yeah, I mean it's a horror TV show, right?
Right.
So
little blood and violence, just a little.
yeah, just a little bit. You can explain it to the kids,
Yeah.
But no. So it's going to be. It's a really good thing to be a part of because Santiago's really big on mental health and um raising funds for veterans and different people, and it's just going to be a really good show to check out, especially if you're into horror and stuff. So it's neat.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing it. You have to give a reminder when it's out. So
Absolutely.
I'll definitely watch it, support you.
Thank you.
So, being a zombie, did you always know you were a cannibal?
I always thought I was a vampire, but cannibal, I don't know. But I guess it's kind of the same. But one drinks blood, one eats flesh. So,
Right.
but yeah, I've always liked the vampires have always been my favorite, and I still haven't really. I've got to pose as one for modeling and stuff, but I've not actually played a vampire in any movies yet. So that's something I'm looking forward to at some point. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you as a vampire.
Yeah, I could do that. Well, I'll have to show you a cool picture at some point.
Yeah.
But yeah, the zombie stuff though, I apparently play dead well, and I was also in Halloween 2 with Rob Zombie's Halloween 2,
Were you?
and I was a dead nurse in that.
Okay.
And it was just like a little featured extra thing, but still, I was a dead nurse. I got to meet Tyler Maine and just a whole bunch of different people on that, which was great. Special effects, makeup artists, different people, and it was a really cool thing to be a part of, and to get to meet Rob Zombie was even phenomenal. I don't know that he would remember me, but still getting to work with him was really cool.
That's someone I would love to meet. I've seen 2 of his shows, watched a bunch of stuff on the old YouTube about him. To sit with him and actually be able to get into his brain would be, I think, awesome.
He's a very detail-oriented director, and he's very focused, and when he's doing it, he's really into it, but he's a very kind-hearted person, and he uses really good manners. He walked past me one day and had to kind of scooch past me, and he said, "Excuse me," I mean, he's just a really great guy, and
Nice.
I feel honored to be in his presence, just to work with him and to be on set with him was really cool, and to watch him work because of his detailed presence, because he was so detail oriented. Because I'm a detail oriented person myself, and he's, you could tell he's visual, and I'm a visual person. I'm a visual learner, so
Yep.
it was really cool. It was very cool being a part of that.
Awesome.
But yeah,
that's pretty cool. To be on a fly on a wall, something like that, I think would be freaking amazing. Yes, you are a living dead girl. I agree with that one. Hey,
And I'm sorry,
Morgan.
I can't see the comments. I'm sorry. I'd have to put my glasses on and really get close to the screen like this. You know. So
Yeah. Well, we've had a lot of highs and hellos.
yay. Hi
You know, that,
everybody.
so, me, I have a problem. If I sit and pay attention to comments, I'll be doing this the whole time and I'll be forgetting all about you.
Well, don't forget about me. I'm important.
You are. You're very important. I get distracted. That squirrel mind. I can't help it.
Same thing. I even have a shirt that, says, ask me about my attention disorder. And then you flip the shirt up and there's a squirrel there. But I have to tell you, the first time I got that shirt, I saw this shirt and I got it. I was like, yeah, oh man, I need to get that. And I wore it like 2 times before I realized there was a squirrel inside of the shirt. So when
Yes, Sonya, you are amazing.
Thank you.
That was one of the comments. I agree.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prior to meeting you, I'd seen a couple episodes of The Walking Dead, but after meeting you and hanging out with you, first thing I did when I got home was I binge watched the entire series.
That's
I gotta
awesome.
see her. I gotta see her.
Did you jump up and down during episode 4 when I was getting out of the car, in the backseat of the car? Did you say,
I was like,
oh my God, there she
I
is?
know her.
I had an old high school friend of mine. After all that aired, I got this message, and he's like, I got one question for you. Was that you on The Walking Dead last night or whenever it was he watched? I said, well, he says in the back seat of the car. I'm like, yeah, that was me. He's like, I knew it. I was telling my sons, I know that person. That looks like my friend Sonya. And his sons didn't believe him. So he had to show them the message and everything, that the correspondence between us, to prove to them that
Right.
he and I were friends, that we've been friends since high school. So it was like,
Right.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I had a few people that didn't believe when I said I got to hang out with you over the summer. No way. Yeah, way. Just wait.
Here's pictures.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to send you a copy. One of my favorite ones is you out on the rocks there at the falls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're
please
just
send that to me.
hamming it up for the camera.
That's what I do. I ham it up.
Yep. So with all the zombie stuff that you've done, now sitting in makeup, is that pretty much hell or not? Because I know what it was like as a scare actor for haunted houses to sit in that chair. And it's nothing compared, I'm assuming, to what you guys go through, because we don't have all them layers of everything put on.
Well, it's I have to have a mirror in front of me to see what they're doing. I don't know. Sometimes I get a little claustrophobic with all the makeup on and stuff. But especially after you put the contact lenses in, it's just very claustrophobic feeling. I would actually sit by myself sometimes on set because I was just trying to stay within my, in my zone, my meditation zone. But for The Walking Dead, it was usually like an hour and a half to 2 hour process, depending on what they were doing to you. It was 2 hours for Zombieland. I did a gig down in Florida as an electrocuted prisoner, and that took like 3.5 hours, I think, because they did my hands, my arms, my shoulders, my chest from here up, and my face, and everything, and my hair. And I also, the next day, they had me do a zombie nun. So I was a nun, and gosh, that was a good 3.5 hours too. And so, but I did notice that when I don't have the mirror in front of me, it just makes it harder for me to visualize what they're doing. I'm an artist myself, so when I'm not able to watch another artist use me as their canvas, it just makes it more difficult for me kind of to, I don't know, I get bored very easily because of attention disorders and stuff. It's like I have to, it's like watching a movie when you're watching the mirror and watching them do it. It intrigues me. So that really helps me to get through the process when it's a longer thing like that. But it was really neat to watch the processes and to see them develop their art on me and use me as their canvas. And at the end of the day, when you're done, then it can take 45 minutes to an hour to get all that off. Then
Mm-hmm.
because they have to slowly peel everything back that they've applied on you. Because a lot of people don't realize this, but when you use the glues and different things, when you're putting on prosthetics and things like that on your face, you don't want to rip them off because you could rip your skin.
Yep.
So you have to be very gentle and very careful with it. And I refer to that process as zombie spa because they would give us a hot towel to put on our face to start loosening everything up. And then they would, slowly take like an alcohol and paintbrush and start, peeling things away. But it was kind of relaxing in a way after a long day on set because a lot of times I was there for 16-hour days
Yeah.
and it was just very grueling in the Georgia heat. So it was crazy.
Yeah. See, the heat is what would kill me, especially with all that on, because you're also like 20 degrees hotter than what you normally are because your skin can't breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would drive me nuts. But yeah, sitting in the chair and kind of watching them do it, I was more of a sit in the chair, close my eyes, and be surprised. Do your thing, surprise me.
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
I
See,
just sit,
I
if
wanted to
I,
watch because it helped me also to develop my character to get into the mode because if I saw a bite mark here or here, or, whatever they were doing to me, I needed to um, be able to use that moment to start visualizing what I was going to be doing and how I was going to make it come alive. Come alive.
right? Yeah.
So
See, I'd be surprised when I get done, but then I'd spend about 15 minutes in the mirror looking at everything and just studying what they did to me.
yeah.
And then I kind of go from there. There's a
Uh-huh.
few times I got to play a zombie, other times, mad scientists that, had flesh hanging off them and pretty much whatever they needed me for the night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they'll give me,
I like the hunt actors. I think they're some of the hardest working horror actors in the industry, I believe, because
yeah,
you do it night after night, and over and over.
yep, and you gotta stay fresh every night.
Yeah, you
You
do.
you can't just mail it in.
Yep.
I actually miss doing that kind of work. I enjoyed it very much so. And sometimes they'd mistake and give me a talking area and then watch out because I'm calling kids chicken nuggets and telling them to get in my belly and chasing other women around. It's nothing. The feeling
Uh-huh.
when you have a woman go, "Oh my God, I just peed myself," for the first time of the season, it's like a badge of honor. Thank you.
Uh-huh. I did my job. Well,
Right?
I've made appearances at haunted house, not, been a part of the haunted house, but just, signing autographs and such. And there I don't even have to have on makeup to scare people a lot of times. I can just go into full zombie and, just like like that and, and start kind of going after them real creepy slow and I've had people running from me. And it is an adrenaline rush,
Yep.
to do that. So I totally get it.
Yep. Yeah, my very first year, first night I ever did something like that. I came out and I was smoking a cigarette on break, and there was a couple that was just coming out who had just been through my room like 15 minutes earlier. And they go, "Oh, hey, look, it's him." And the guy next to me goes, "Hey, we got his shot collar off. You better run." And I bolted towards them, and they were gone. History, I swear. It was like cartoon. They left tracks.
Puff, they were gone.
Yeah, it was it.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So now, where, when did you have your very first paranormal experience?
Oh,
What
wow.
got you?
Well, I've always been able to I've had some really cool ones, but when uh when my grandpa died, my steppapa, he would always fix my TV before he, at night, and everything. It's like so after he died, I woke up one night and I saw something, a shadow in front of my TV. Because I would fall asleep with the TV going, and it would just do the whole. Back then, it was just the fuzz screen then. And because after when the TV went analog, when it went off,
Yeah.
and you just had
Yeah.
fuzz.
That was the
And
white ants versus the black ants.
yeah, and so but when I would stay at his house, at my grandparents' house, he would come in sometimes the TV. He would have to adjust the antenna, the rabbit ears and stuff to get it working right for me. And one night I woke up, I heard I saw the shadow in front of the TV, and it was my papa, and he was fixing my TV for me, trying to fix my TV. And so I've had things like that over the years happen with relatives that have came back to see me, and especially my dreams too. But one cool instance though was up at the Auburn Theater up there in Auburn, Illinois.
My home
Robin
state.
Terry. He has a theater up there, and he was doing a haunted house in the basement part of it, and he invited Larry and myself up there to stay the night in the theater. And he had renovated the upstairs part for an apartment for he and his wife, and then he had his insurance office in the front of it and different things like that. And he had part of the theater still intact, with the theater chairs and stuff. And I guess I stayed like 2 or 3 nights in that place in a haunted theater. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But I'm sitting that morning. Larry always slept in. He was a night owl. He slept in. I'm an early bird. So I got up and I decided I wanted to do a little video for YouTube and in the theater part. So I set my camera up and I'm like, oh, I've spent 2 nights in a haunted theater, and the hosts were great, but the ghosts were even better, and so I was doing things like that. And then I went to look at the camera to see how it looked, to make sure my positioning was great. And as I was walking back to sit down to look at it, I heard this little girl's laugh go. I could almost envision her doing this, and I was like, oh my God. And I was like, too bad the cameras wasn't running then. But I guess she liked my whole, hey, the hosts were great, but the ghosts were even better, and
Right.
So I was just like, God, that was so creepy, but it was the first audible voice that I really knew I had heard. A disembodied voice like that. I had never, that I know of. Now, I thought back to some other times over the years. I'm like, oh, I bet that was, when I would hear something, then hear somebody's voice. There was times I heard voices, but I just played it off as something else or somebody's, radio or something. But now I think back and I'm like, yeah, I've heard some things before. But when Robin came up, I talked to him. I'm like, listen, do you leave any of the Halloween, like the props downstairs on or anything like that? And he goes, no, everything gets turned off in the middle of the night, afterwards, after we're done, nothing's left on. And I said, where have you been at? And where was your wife? And he says, well, my wife's still in bed asleep. I've been up in the front, and I knew where Larry was at. And so I told him what happened. He says, come with me. And he let me hear an audio recording that had been done by 4 paranormal investigators that were I think it was either 3 or 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, something like that. Maybe it was 3. And the voice they picked up was a little girl counting the paranormal. She goes, 1, 2, 3. And so this little girl counted the paranormal investigators.
Very
and I was like, and hearing that little voice, it sounded like it could have been that laugh.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh, that's wild. And so that was some really cool things that have happened. And I've had some other cool stuff happen too, like at the historic Scott County Jail. It was there's always something going on there. It's one of the most haunted places I've been to that's consistent. So I highly recommend you guys going there. Miranda Young is
I will.
owns that, and so does Christy Summer. So there you go.
Miranda, get a hold of me. I know Miranda.
So I just did a shout out. I just did that for you guys. I did that for you girls.
So, well, we got to get you up here to Wisconsin because I have 2 locations I want to take you to. We were mentioning a little backstage, Broadhead Manor, which is in Broadhead, Wisconsin. Phenomenal place. Great for the beginner or the experienced investigator. And then Jericho Haunted Trinity.
Okay.
Now, you're talking about spending a night there. I've slept at this place several times now. And a few weeks ago, I actually stayed 2 nights in a row by myself in the nunnery there. So we got to get you up here for it. And I know I can get you in, no problem. We just got to make sure we make time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
I do got to say a shout out. I seen someone popped up in the chat there. Mr. Greg Koss, can we all wish him a very happy birthday? Thank you for tuning in on your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Oh, Greg, I'm jealous. She just serenaded you. So, yeah, he'll actually be on the show, I believe, next week. So,
nice.
Yeah. Good friend of mine. He has 2 podcasts, Mariner Spirit and When Spirit Connect.
Yep.
So, yes, happy birthday, Greg. So, we had to give a little shout out for him. I was actually shocked to see him pop up. He should be out celebrating his birthday.
Well, this is how he's celebrating.
Right. Checking in on us.
That's right. He has joined in for the celebration. We are celebrating his birthday. This is for him, man. It's for you. This podcast.
The Silver Fox.
That's right.
So,
we're dedicating it to you for your birthday.
Yes, sir. So, but yeah, so have you ever had like an oh shit moment where you go, I don't think I really need to be here, or one of the second guess why you want to play with the paranormal?
Well, I'm going to go back to Stump House Tunnel. I had been there one time before. I'd always wanted to go up there, and I had been there one time before the time that you guys, we met up there and stuff. And it was a rainy day, and every once in a while I'll take a day off during the week and I'll take off and go do something fun because I like to take adventures. And my parents had gotten married in Walla Halla, South Carolina, and I wanted to go to, it was at the courthouse up there, and I was like, I'm going to go see this courthouse. I'm going to go up there and see Stump House Tunnel. I'm going to, so I had all these plans. So I got there, and I was the only person there inside that. I started to go inside the tunnel by myself, and I started getting creeped out so bad because then I started thinking about, well, what if Bigfoot's at the end? It's raining. Something's in there. There could be a bear at the end. There could be this. There could be that. I started like getting in my head so bad that I was like, oh shit, I don't need to be here. I do not need to be here by myself. What if there's some serial killer? What if there, so I got in my head so daggone bad. I was like, I'm never going back there again by myself. And so I did go back actually with my cousin between that time and the time I met up with you guys. I forgot about that. But anyways, I decided I was never going back in there by myself. I didn't have the proper flashlight, because I didn't know what to expect, right? And so cell phone flashlights are not good in there. You got to have a really good flashlight if you're going to go in there.
Yeah.
And that was proven with that family that we helped out. But yeah, so, and I had my little ghost tools thing running, that comes up the words and all this kind of stuff. And I was getting all sorts of stuff going off. And I was just like, yeah, I don't need to be in here. I don't need to be in here. What am I thinking? And so I backed out. I didn't go very far in there. I backed out, and I just, didn't stay very long.
Right.
I probably had a few of those types of moments, like what am I doing? So I try to use good judgment and get the heck out of there at that
Right.
point. So
Listen to your intuition. It'll
yeah.
never let you
And,
down.
and that's the thing, when you are by yourself doing stuff and you are in a situation like that, it was raining. If there was an animal that could have been taking refuge in there for, so it would get wet, you don't know these things. So if you do feel that vibe, then there possibly could have been somebody in there. There could have been somebody just back in there hanging out, even a homeless person or something, I don't know.
Yep.
But it could have been anything in there. So, and of course, Bigfoot is known in that area, and so just being by yourself like that isn't always the smartest decision.
See, I do want to get down there again and actually do some squatching. There's a few places that we drove through over the summer, that being one of them, that I could feel the presence.
Okay.
Okay. It's a unique feeling once you've been out in the field and you've interacted with nature, I guess you can say, and you feel the different vibrations. And then you go somewhere where he's been known to be.
Yeah.
It's a whole different energetic field. And that was one of the places like I kind of wanted just to run off and explore the woods, but I knew that I couldn't because I had you guys with me, and we were there for paranormal, not for cryptids.
Yeah. Well, there's another hike that I want to go on that's not far from there, but once again, I'm not going to do it by myself. It's just there's too much that goes on nowadays, so I don't. I'll do some of the shorter hikes, maybe half mile or something like that. It's like and populated, but I try not to go on the 2-mile hikes or the 3-mile hikes or anything by myself, because it's just too dangerous to do it. Wildlife on top of that, but yeah, that whole corner area where South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia all come together. From what I understand, that's a pretty well known area for Bigfoot sightings, and I've actually met some people that this one fellow up in Clayton, Georgia, he would walk his property, and one day he saw some tracks, but they were in the water, in the creek. And so he was like, oh my God, he couldn't believe it. So a couple years later, then he was back down there again, and he saw one up on the embankment, and he ran home and he told his wife, we got to go to Walmart and get a kit. So they came back and they used 2 plaster kits and plastered the footprint. And so he takes it to different shows and stuff now, but it's just some regular people. And he came across that, and he's got that. So that was in Clayton. And then just up above Clayton at Black Rock Mountain State Park, there's a trail called the Tennessee Trail. And it was actually one of my best friend Tina and I's favorite trails to go on. And I was at this Bigfoot conference up there in Dillard, and this lady was talking to that same guy about what she saw on that trail just, weeks or so before. And she put her chapstick next to it and took a picture of it. And I said, could you send that to me? And she did. And because I was going hiking on that trail that very next day. Mm-hmm. So you should have seen me. I'm taking pictures, clicking, and I'm looking, I'm walking. I think that's the most observant I've been on that trail ever. But she said it was about a mile in. And so, but I never did see anything, but I thought that was very interesting though, because that was a trail that I've been on many, many times. And for her to have seen that was like wild, totally wild. Made me start thinking a little bit more.
Yeah, you got to be observant to your surroundings. And honestly, I think Bigfoot's going to reveal himself to someone he sees worthy enough or kind-hearted enough. You hear the stories. I was watching something and it had a hunter in it, and he had mind speak with a Bigfoot, and he goes, you have a pistol. Why do you have a gun? If you're looking for me, what do you need a gun for?
Wow.
So you think that, something like that, they're going to pick and choose who they reveal themselves to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, and as like with people, you've got the seeds and the good seeds, and then you have you know, when somebody has been hunted like Bigfoot, and you know, once somebody's gotten hurt or something's happened or they see bad people, they might react. They're going to react that way as well.
Right.
So you're going to have, I guess, a Bigfoot, Sasquatch that are not as nice or very protective over their areas.
Mhm.
So very territorial. So I mean, you just have to really be careful. But I have heard of some Sasquatch families that live near people and different things. I've heard so many different stories.
Yeah.
Um, it's interesting to hear the different
Yeah.
scenarios that have happened in certain people.
Well, in our culture, they talk about how they used to come to our fires and to our gatherings, and we lived
Yeah,
hand in hand with them until something happened, and we kind of went our separate ways.
yeah,
And I've always been one to say that, in the Native American culture, we don't speak about things just to talk about it. We speak
yeah,
about things that actually happened. We speak about lessons that need to be learned. So
yeah.
for that to be in damn near every one of our cultures, every one of our
Mhm.
tribes across Turtle Island have some kind of interaction with a hairy man or a man of the woods or however you want to classify it, had to been there. You
Yeah,
know,
because I've heard that some Native Americans have mentioned to me about uh, him being the protector of the forest,
mm-hmm.
and that they trade with the with that tribe, as they
Yep.
said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's very interesting.
definitely. I live up here on a Stockbridge Indian Reservation, and I've done some research on my res, a little bit, talked to some people on the reservation next door to us. I've heard all kinds of sightings and accounts up in this area, you know, and some of the places I can't go because I'm not allowed,
Yeah,
wrong tried to be going in the certain areas.
yeah,
But some of these things, these people are telling us, hey, this is what I'm experiencing. They're showing me pictures, so believe me, they're out there. They're there.
I believe it. Just like those UFOs. So
Oh yeah. Our
you
star
know,
people.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
That's been talked about a lot around this, like in North Carolina area and South Carolina and stuff. The Star People. So
Yeah.
I was actually last year. I was near the Brown. What is it? The Brown Mountain Lights thing. It was rainy that night, and I wanted to go up there. That was in North Carolina, and there's these lights that are just all over the place up there, and I've been wanting to go back up there and just go see those. But you can sit there, and some people say, "Oh, it's just headlights from a car," but there's no cars that are up there.
Right.
So that's a very interesting, phenomenal, I guess you could say. Um, that that is talked about up there and seen. So some people say it's like gas or something, that's being let off, but it's sometimes different color lights or something is what I've been told.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting. I
you
definitely
might
like to
check
check
that.
something like that out.
Yeah, I should totally check that out next time you're down this way.
See, that's it. You know what? I'm coming down. You're gonna have to tour guide me down there around all your places. Then I'll bring you back up here and I'll tour guide you around up here. How's that sound?
That's a deal. Sounds like a
All
good plan.
right.
You can stay here if you need to. So
I
I'll
got no
make
problem
space
to
for you.
crash on the couch.
Yeah, I've got a spare room, so you're good.
All right. I got a spare camper out back. We'll kick one of the boys out. We'll give you your own little Taj Mahal out in the backyard.
Awesome, awesome. That
Yeah.
works.
I'd offer a spot in my house, but it's about the size of a 1.5 car garage. There ain't much room.
Okay,
It's
it's
an
fine.
itty bitty little fieldstone house.
Hey, camper's fine with me. I'm a country girl, so outdoorsy,
Electric.
all that. So I'm
You'll get
good.
electricity and air conditioning.
Hey, there you go. That works for me.
You know. So let's see what we have here. The government has tried to debunk the Brown Mountain Lights, and they have not been able to do so far. I think the Cherokee used to live there at one time or another. Indian tribe. I'm not sure, but it could be their souls that we see or swamp gas. So who knows? Well, it could be the ancestors.
It
You
could
know,
be.
there's a lot of belief that when we pass on, we go to the stars. That
Yeah.
our ancestors are the stars. They're looking down
Okay.
over us. So yeah, it very well possibly could be them coming back down.
Could be. That reminds me of a story. I was filming in northwestern Tennessee at Reelfoot Lake, and that was created by an earthquake that happened, I think, in like 1812, somewhere right in there. It was one of the largest earthquakes in the southeast that's ever been. I mean, it was huge. A lot of people don't realize that we had earthquakes in this area that have been pretty massive. There are fault lines here, and we were filming, and the lake is like, it reminds you of being the Okefenokee Swamp, like in a swamp, or down in New Orleans in one of the swamps down there. It's got the cypress trees and stuff. And we took a boat out to this island, and there was actually an Indian mound there.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to actually walk across this Indian mound, and I felt so weird doing that, for this film. And I just felt very uncomfortable kind of doing that. I felt like I was disrespecting the graves that were there. But while we were on this island, there were so many dragonflies. So many. It's the most I'd ever seen in one area before in my life. And I looked it up, and it was talking about those being the souls of that tribe, or what, that sometimes that can indicate that they come back that way, and that's part of their soul. That's their souls. And I
Okay.
was like, I was so convinced by that, because I had never in my life seen so many dragonflies. So now when I have a dragonfly visit me after somebody has passed, I'm just like, I just go ahead and speak their name. I've had them land on my hand and just kind of hang out. After my friend Tina died 4 years ago, I was up in Burgess Falls in Tennessee. You can actually kayak to the bottom of the falls, and so it's a really neat. It's really beautiful, and the kayaking company that I use, Kayaking Adventures of Tennessee, they let you stay at the bottom of the falls for like 2.5, 3 hours, and you get to hang out, picnic, jump off some of the lower falls, things like that. It's a
Nice.
lot of fun,
That sounds
and
like a lot of fun.
oh, it's awesome. It's wonderful. And I was in the water hanging out, and this dragonfly just came, and it just landed on my hand and just hung out for a while. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And I was like, it's got to be Tina.
Mhm.
I mean, it was just kind of it was neat. It was really neat. So now that
That's
when
cool.
I'm kayaking or doing anything and I see a dragonfly, I always know that somebody's with me. I know it's an indicator that, one of my loved ones is hanging out with me on my adventure. Because sometimes I go by myself, so which probably isn't the smartest thing either. But
And nothing wrong with
that's what
that.
I need. Yeah,
I
that's what
do
I need
gotta
sometimes.
say,
Yeah.
you do have a bunch that follow you around. The energy alone, I could tell it when we were on the road together. I can feel it now. You do have a lot of loved ones that walk your journey with you. You are never
Oh,
alone, my darling. Never.
thank you, thank you. It's always good to have that confirmation, because I feel them. There's a lot of times I walk. I just got chills. When I get these chills like that, then that's an indicator that it's a confirmation.
Hmm.
And I'm always feeling them around me. And it's just like right now. Like I say, I'm just, my whole body just went, "Choop," it's just all these chill bumps. And
Yep.
so I know somebody's with me right now. A lot of times it's my grandmother's, and both of them were buried on my birthday, and it's been really hard because of that.
Hmm.
It was like years apart, of course, um, but still, it's just everybody says I need to be thankful that it's kind of like an ancestral energy, is what a psychic friend told me.
Hmm.
So I try to look at it that way, but
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. be welcoming with them. They're there to help guide you. They love you. They want the best for you.
Thank you.
They're- some of those scary situations you've been in, they're the ones that got you through it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Let's see. Christy Rico says, your energy is absolutely phenomenal, sweetie.
Oh,
And it
thank
is.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
So, yes, it definitely is.
I
So,
met Henry Winkler one time, and he told me I had the brightest light surrounding me that he's ever seen. Now, granted, he may say that to everybody. I don't know, but he said that to me one time.
no, darling, you shine. You do.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now, if you could go anywhere in the world for an investigation, where would you go?
Ooh, Ireland. I would like to go to
Nice.
Ireland. Yes, which that's on my bucket list anyway, to go to Ireland, because that's where my ancestors are from. Some
Okay.
of them anyway, majority of them, in
I have
Wales
a
and Scotland.
wee bit of Ireland and a little bit of Wales in me.
Okay. We've
So, yeah,
probably crossed paths before in a past life.
chances are,
Yeah.
I am a McGee. So, Janice wrote that song about me, Bobbie McGee.
Okay.
That was my mom's maiden name. And
Cool.
then my father, his great, 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 great grandfather came from Wales.
Nice.
Long before the native blood got taken in.
Okay. That's
So, yeah.
neat.
But yeah, I'd
Yeah.
love to go to Ireland, check them out. But still, my number one bucket list place is Alcatraz.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I
I
want to
don't
do
know, as a female, I don't know that I would want to go there. But that would be a very interesting place to be at for an investigation.
well, just take some natives with you. You'll be all right.
As long as I got a bodyguard.
Yeah. You figure there's two reasons I want to go. A, because it's Alcatraz and all,
Mhm.
everyone that's been there. But B, AIM, the American Indian movement, took it over for that short time back in the past. So you had a whole bunch of natives there that left some energy behind. So I
That's
want to
true.
see, the combination, how they interact with one another and how
Yeah.
they interact with me. Because, I
Uh-huh.
used to be a bad boy. I wasn't always a nice guy. So I could have fit in with the prisoners,
Yeah.
and I fit in with the native culture that's there.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, that
James,
could
we'll
be
do it.
interesting.
Yeah, I think it'd be awesome. And then like to make it like the ultimate for me, and I'd have to do like 30 days on the rock.
Yeah.
No outside interaction, I have to figure out how to feed myself for 30 days there, but figure it out.
Well, I would say I'm sure there's a lot of rats there, but
Everything will taste good with enough barbecue sauce.
there you go.
Ireland.
Oh, goodness.
So now, you ever done any study with the Fae or anything like that?
Not really. I do have a book in here that I started reading. I need to pick back up and see. I have had a psychic tell me that I have uh, fairies running around my yard. They like my medicine wheel. I have a medicine wheel here at the house
Okay.
that I like to meditate in. A friend of mine, he's a healer, a shaman. He studied with shamans from all over the world, and he actually helped me build the medicine wheel out here and bless it, and so it's set up for healing and stuff. And I've actually put people in that to heal them and to help them heal, not me heal. You know I let Jesus work through me.
Right.
I'm not, I'm not the person that heals. It's him. But apparently the fairies like that. And I'll tell you, the feral cats like hanging out in the medicine wheel too.
Hmm.
So it's got such good energy in it, and you can stand there and sometimes you just feel yourself just rocking with the vortex of energy, just spinning. And so I could totally see the fairies enjoying that. So
Very cool.
um, Yeah. So apparently they're here. They're at my house.
You know?
That's the reason when anything goes missing and I can't find something, I'm like, where is it? I'm like, the fairies must have taken it. You know? So
Right?
I just go ahead and I figure they must have done something with it and hid it from me. I don't know, but it has to
Li-
be that. So
Little tricksters.
yep, yep.
Definitely. So, well, we are coming up on the end of the hour here. So, shameless plug time. If anyone wants to get a hold of you, anything you want to promote, how do they go about that?
Well, and I've only got one show coming up this year. I just have I haven't done a lot this year like I did last year and years past, but in August 7th through the 9th, I will be at the High Nation Paranormal Horror Show in Arkansas. And there's going to be karaoke there from what I hear. I just found
Oh,
that out recently. So that's going to be a cool convention to attend. If you guys want to come, please do so. I will be there signing autographs, and I might even have a few. Well, I don't know if I'll have any of my zombie dolls because I'm flying out there. It's hard to pack those. And be sure to look up Back from the Dead on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and all those social media platforms. And that's the new TV series that I'm starring in. And Huggin' Molly, that's another movie that I'm working on that's filming down in South Alabama. And
okay.
just look for some of that kind of stuff. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, or on TikTok. And I'm happy to answer questions and and I do paint zombie dolls. So if anybody's interested in buying zombie dolls, let me know.
Yeah, I want one.
Yeah. So just let me know. I was doing zombie elves on the shelf, but I've decided not to do any more of those. So I did about 60 of them, and I'm like, okay, I'm done. So I'm gonna go back to the porcelain dolls and stuff like that and do those again.
Okay.
But yeah. And my website is professionalzombie.com. I have not updated it lately. I need to, because some autograph prices and different things like that have changed. So I need to get on there and do that. But anyways, that's it. So
All right.
find me.
Definitely. Guys, find her, support her. She's amazing.
Thank you.
Watch everything she's in. And stop by one of the conventions and see her. If you get a
Yeah.
chance to hang out with a woman, you will not regret it. She is amazing.
Thank you.
So,
And
all
also check
right.
out my Walkabout Georgia and Beyond page. It's on Facebook.
Yes, definitely
Yes.
got to.
Yeah.
You see now that you just got to come up here and film some stuff for that page,
Yep. That would be fun.
So, all right. So, well, thank you again for coming on.
Thank you for
And
having me.
everybody, just remember one thing, life's too short to dream your life away. Get out there and live your dreams. And with that being said, Gwen, please take us away.